Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, we're going to be talking about comments in Java. So many of you already know what a comment is. For those of you who don't know, a comment is a way to document your code. Okay, so let me give you an example real quick. So here I have a class, right? It's called person, and we have our three sections. We have an attribute, we have our constructor, and we have a method. Okay. Now let's say there is a developer that wants to look at your code, but they don't exactly know what's going on with this method. They don't know what it does. So if you feel like that's going to be the case, what you're going to want to do is add comments, okay, to better clarify your thought process behind your method design, okay? So one way to write a comment is to type double slash, and then you can type whatever you want. So you could do something like this method prints hello to the console window. Okay, so that's one way to write a comment. And so when you run it, it'll run all of this code, right? But once it gets here, it'll just completely ignore it and continue um, reading the rest of the code. Okay. Now, if you feel like you have to write more comments, what you can do is you can, you know, go to the next line and continue to write, just like that. Or there is a better way of doing it, okay? And that way is to type in forward slash and then asterisk and then press enter, okay? So what that's going to do is it's going to get every text or basically anything that's between these two things. So between the forward slash and the asterisk and this asterisk and forward slash. As you can see, it'll treat everything in between as a comment, okay? And the reason there's a green squiggle line is because it's doing a spell check on there, okay? You see? Okay. Now, this is actually really good if you want to comment out code. Okay, so let's say, for example, that this method is giving you problems, right? So you try running your application, and for some reason it keeps complaining about this method. So what you can do is you can comment it out. And so you'd write, or sorry, you type forward slash asterisk, right? And you see it's now gray, okay? But we don't want this here to be gray, right? Because this is part of the class. So we need to add another line here, and it automatically adds the asterisk with the forward slash as the closer, okay? So the opening and the closer, okay? So everything here in between gets commented out and is not, um, it doesn't run, okay? When you run the application, this whole thing gets ignored, okay? So this is very helpful when you're trying to troubleshoot your application. All right, finally, the uh, the other way to write a comment is what's called a JavaDoc comment. Okay, now a JavaDoc is probably the best way to like properly document your code. Okay, let me show you how that works. So you press forward slash and then you do a double asterisk just like that. Okay, and it'll turn the text green, but as soon as you press enter, okay, what's going to happen is it'll auto-generate this right here, okay? And in the middle asterisk, right here in the middle, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add tags, okay? So things like author, right? Like who wrote this code, right? Who wrote this section of the code? So you could put your name there, okay? You could maybe even put an email if you want, okay? You could also put, things like maybe a version number, so 1.2. Really, you could use any kind of tag that you want. It all really depends on, your team and whatever convention that they're using, okay? But the JavaDoc is the best way to properly document your code, okay? Not only that, but once you're done with writing all of this, what you can do is you go to Tools, and then you would go to Generate JavaDoc, okay? So as soon as you click Generate JavaDoc, it'll bring up this window here with a bunch of different options, such as like, what part of the code do you want to generate as a JavaDoc, the output directory. So actually, I created a folder called My JavaDoc, okay? And I'm going to export everything onto there, okay? As you can see, these are some other really popular tags on here. You don't have to use these if you don't want to, but people do usually use the like the version or author tags, okay? All right, so we'll go ahead and click generate. It might give you a few errors just because it's complaining that you didn't document, for example, the constructor or the class or other certain things, okay? So if we go here, this is the folder that I created earlier, my JavaDoc, okay? Now I decided to generate everything, okay? Now you can limit it to whatever you want, okay? And that's in the pop-up window that we saw earlier. So let's see, if we go to, for example, all classes index, it's probably not going to show me much. Here, let's see. Here we have two classes. We have car and person, okay, and main. And here we have car, person, main, right? We go inside person, and it'll show you the method here, say hello. That's the one that we were looking at earlier, this one. Say hello, right? And just look at how organized and nice everything is. You see that? Okay. And I mean, we barely added any comments here, right? Now imagine if you added a lot of really good documentation. It'll make things a whole lot easier, and it'll make things, it'll make things a whole lot easier for other developers, and it'll just make your application look more professional. Okay. All right. So that is all for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.